Welcome to the Next Level Life podcast with Christine Corcoran. This podcast is made for the powerhouse businesswomen who are ready to ignite their fullest potential. This is where we will dive deep into the mindset breakthroughs and sprinkle in some kick up the butt motivation so you can scale your business with confidence and clarity. Whether you're craving more income, impact, or inspiration, this podcast will be your ultimate resource for all things next level. Listen in as we have authentic conversations with game-changing female entrepreneurs as we reveal the secrets of what it takes to rise and thrive. So go ahead, ignite your inner fire, and let's get you taking massive aligned action. Are you ready to elevate? Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for hitting download. I am excited to bring you today's episode. I wanted to do an episode on this for a few different reasons, because I wanted to talk about that transition from that fully booked calendar of one-to-one, recognizing that you're probably going to lead yourself to burnout, but if you want to scale, you're going to have to do something a little bit different. Plus, also the journey of developing group programs, because I feel like it's something that a lot of people want to do and hesitate on. And I absolutely have some strong opinions around when is the right time and the wrong time to do this, because I have seen it not go well. And I think there's been so much that's changed in the last few years with business that when creating something that's a one-to-many offer, whether that be a mastermind, a course, a program, what I'm finding in the market at the moment is that you need to be very specific of the transformation it's going to create, and you need to be really specific of who it's for and what people are actually going to get from it. Otherwise, it's very hard to sell, because it is a saturated space where there's a lot of group offerings and people have been burnt. People have joined programs before and not really got what they thought they would get out of it. And it's because of people selling or overselling their concept or overselling what they're going to get out of it, and they're not actually delivering on it. So in this day and age, I think it's really important that we are clear on what it is that we're offering and getting as specific as we can. And I want to talk to you about how you're going to go from idea of like, well, what do I actually put in a group program, and how do I navigate that? Because we don't want to also bastardize your one-on-one offering and where it all fits within your business, because it is a huge conversation. And so I'm going to do my best to simplify it and go through the main points that will benefit you today. Now, as we dive in, I want to share with you that my mastermind, the Next Level Mastermind, who is for ambitious women in business who are in the messy middle, who are navigating that shift, navigating this exact transition from one-to-one to one-to-many in some capacity, whether that is with team, whether that is with a course, whether it's with a program, a mastermind, events, whatever that looks like. The mastermind is designed specifically for you. I want to talk to you about the Next Level Mastermind because not only are the doors open for you to join at the moment, but also it helps you really see what I mean by specific. Because when I first started the Next Level Mastermind, I had my concept around the 5 key areas I really wanted to focus on for the 6-month journey for my clients. And it has been an evolution right from the beginning, because I've had group through after group through after group through, and I've evolved as a coach. My client has evolved as well. And so I've spent some time recently getting really bloody clear on who it's for, what it actually creates, and the results that you get from it. So not only can you see whether it's the right fit for you, but also it'll help me share what I'm going to be speaking to today to give you a really clear example, okay? So as I mentioned, the Next Level Mastermind is for ambitious women in business who want to scale their business. So they're either currently close to or are fully booked within their business with one-to-one in whatever service offering that is, and they're wanting to scale. And they either already have a group program, a mastermind, a course, some type of offering that they already have, and they're wanting to be able to sell it more effectively. So maybe they've already done the first iteration, maybe the pilot round, and it's gone well, but now they're like, okay, how do I sell this? How do I fill it? And so it's either for that person or someone who is at that stage of like, I want to be able to scale and have some type of offer, but I'm not really sure what that offer is going to be yet. And so the purpose of the mastermind is to help you navigate that messy middle through the elevation and the shifts that have to happen within your mindset to step out of the time versus money trap into how you perceive your value and how you communicate your value, and how you create that high ticket offer and communicate the value of that high ticket offer and be able to sell it effectively. So we build out your 12-month sales strategy. So we spend time working on your scaling plan, get really bloody clear on how you're going to scale your business. We then map out your sales strategy across 12 months with quarterly focuses with sales systems built in. So you would know exactly what to focus on, exactly what you're doing, what you're selling and when, and how you're going to go about selling it and filling that program, offer, service. Okay. And so there are different elements that come into play at this stage of business that we focus on. The first one is vision. You need to have a really clear vision on where you want to take your business. So we get super clear on your vision. We get clear on who you need to be and the identity shifts that have to happen in order for you to step into that next level vision. We then create your strategy. So build out your long-term strategy with your scalable offer and the quarterly focuses. I then touch on elements of your delivery and structure for scaling, because there's often questions around that and concerns or issues of how to actually do that for more freedom, more profit, and more impact. So really look at that element too, because it is a big factor. Otherwise, you end up burning yourself out because you try to then have a group offering and you're doing the one-to-one and you're trying to make the money and all the things. So we look at the deliverability and the structure as well. Then we step into iconic presence, because the next level of expansion within your business needs to be a next level of visibility. So to make the sales conversations easier, we need to position you as the expert in your industry. So we get really clear on your iconic presence so you can become known, desired, and in demand. So we work on your sales messaging to your premium positioning, work on your visibility strengths and figure out how are you going to get in front of the right people. And then we build out your lead generation focus. So that's building it into your next level strategy, as well as like thinking about it from the perspective of where to spend your time for the best results, because there's no point in you speaking at an event that your ideal client is not at, right? Even though it might be great for your visibility, but if it's not going to get you closer to the end goal, it's useless, right? The next piece, and everything I'm sharing with you is part of my embodied CEO framework, the next piece is embodied millionaire CEO energy. So we need to tap into the energetics, because for you to step into your next level, we need to look at your thresholds, your expansion strategies, and what may hold you back. So what your self-sabotage patterns are, what your mindset blocks might be. We do some deep money reprogramming as well, because you step into next level wealth. There's often next level fears of success, fear of failure, fear of losing it all, fear of responsibility, and also some money fears. So we need to look at all of that so we can expand your nervous system and build your capacity to be able to receive more into your business, whether that be more money, more clients, more opportunities. So we do all of this over a 6-month journey together with one-on-one coaching included in our group coaching offering. So it's a mastermind blended with one-to-one coaching and group coaching. So you'll get access to my CEO intensive as well as my scaling mastery program to serve you in being able to basically figure out what it is that you need to implement next. And so we're taking you through my framework and also giving you all the resources. So you get access to the portal, which has a whole bunch of resources that I can direct you to when you need it. So this is not necessarily a course. So I just want to highlight that this is very different for this stage of business, because you don't need to be learning more. It's about implementing the sales strategy. So once we build out that strategy, there is a whole bunch of resources in the portal that you get access to based on what it is that you need. So if you're missing elements of leadership, so maybe you need to get better at leading or onboarding new team members. Maybe you need to work on your own mindset. So I give you mindset elements with regards to CEO mindset. Maybe you need to work on your money, and I give you strategies around managing your money and cash flow and where to invest your money next for growth, like all of those pieces, depending on what it is you need. But it's not a course that you have to go step by step and watch every video. That's not the intention of that. It's just I've built out this resource hub that allows you to get access to things that you need when you're going through it and you're scaling. I also go through and review your sales funnels and optimize them, because when it comes to building out your sales strategy, there may be things you already have in place that we can utilize, which is great. We just build out your customer journey and your long-term plan, so we have a real focus to making things more strategic, because as you're becoming that next level CEO in your business, your strategy has to match that in order for you to be able to give your all to your business, but your business should be working for you, not you working so much for it and being a slave to your business. So we're going to be working on your optimization of all of that behind the scenes and your systems and processes. So that way you have an ability to be able to have that freedom and space and creativity in your business rather than burning out. So with all of that, you also get, oh my God, another steak knife. No, sorry. But there are certain inclusions that I also added in here for a whole level of connection and support for every part of your business and yourself. So we do a half-day online retreat day to help work on your nervous system, the energetics of your body and your energy for your health and well-being, so you can be the best version of yourself. And then we also have an in-person mastermind day with all the group, and that's going to be in Brisbane. I have guest speakers come to that, and it's a really awesome session. Everyone always loves that. And we also go out for dinner that night as well. So beautiful celebration dinner so you can develop that next level of connection with the beautiful women within the mastermind. So if you feel called to be a part of this, this feels like it's right up your alley with where you're at right now, then feel free to click the link in the show notes, check out all the details and come and join us. Or if you have questions, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and I can answer any questions that you have, share with you any more information that I have to give you so you can make the best decision for you. All right, so with everything that I've just shared, do you see how specific I got, right? Do you see how specific for who it's for, right? You're ready to scale. You want to step away from doing one-to-one. It's transitioning through the messy middle. It is for women in business that have a scalable offer or would like to create a scalable offer. It is developing your sales strategy across 12 months, and we're working on every part of your business to navigate that messy middle as well as yourself. So your offering needs to be really clear. And one of the biggest challenges that I see a lot of people have is they get so caught up in having something that is for everyone, or having something that they're so unclear with the whole purpose of it is like, oh, I just want to create a mastermind, or I just want to create one specific for these people, but you're not really clear on the outcomes or results you're going to create for people. And that's what prevents people from buying. And the reason why I'm saying like it's for that messy middle is because that's how people feel in that stage. And I think one of the things too is that I really like to work with people who have mastered certain outcomes and results in their one-to-one, and then we're going to figure out how to create a specific program or course or scalable offer that will actually deliver on results. And so when you're creating something like that, rather than going, oh, I'm just going to take my one-to-one and turn it into a group offering, that's where people often go really wrong, because they try to fit way too much into a program and try to do it on a group level, which is actually really challenging to do. And that's where things get messy and people aren't able to really know what it's really for and how they're going to get a great outcome. And it is a different dynamic. Like, I think you need to consider that it is a different dynamic and it's going to be different results to your one-to-one. And it's really hard to promise what you're going to give people one-to-one to do it in group. And so you've got to be really clear on what your promise is with different offerings. And so I'm super transparent with that. Like when I'm having a conversation with someone, I'll say to someone, like I recently took on a one-on-one client and she was looking at the mastermind and I actually said to her, I know the mastermind is something that you really want to do. And I know that it's because you want the connection in there, but the level of deep work that I feel like is really required for your transformation, I don't think you're going to get that as intensely in the mastermind, because the mastermind is designed to actually support you with all different elements instead of just the transformation that you're really looking for, right? So I said to her, look, I actually think we need to do one-to-one. And then after that, if you want to then come into the mastermind, you can. But I think that what she was really looking for was this, we need to do a lot of deep mindset work and transformational work for her. Whereas some people come to me and they're like, yep, I've got this sorted. I'm just trying to figure out how to build in the sales strategy and make it actually sell and feel it. And then I also need that support to be around other people who get it and to be supportive in that container, to have people to celebrate with and to also have someone to ask questions with consistently. So it's really getting clear on who it's for and who it's not for is probably what I'm trying to say, because there needs to be a differentiation of that. Otherwise people become super confused on who it's for and they just don't buy. A confused buyer never buys. So when it comes to creating your scalable offer and stepping away from your one-to-one, one of the things I always say, like, please don't drop all your one-to-one straight away thinking you're going to sell out a group offering. That first offering often sells quite well because it is new and it might be something that's different for your people, your audience, that maybe you haven't offered before and that's enticing for people. And then yet the second time you launch it, you need to get even clearer and you need to build in a lot of lead gen and build out your strategy so it's more effective to fill that group. Otherwise, it can be something that can be really hard to sell, because it's almost like you have like almost a false experience when you first sell it and you think then going into the next time it'll be easier. And sometimes it is because you're clearer. So sometimes you end up like improving your sales process because the first time you launch maybe is really challenging. Like everyone's got a different experience. But what I'm trying to say is we want to get as clear as possible who it's for, who it's not for. And then rather than take everything that you do with one-to-one, I would actually look at more, how do I create more specific pieces that I know that I can deliver in a group setting? That's what I would look at. So what are your strengths? What are the results you already create for your one-to-one? But how can we take pieces of it, not the whole thing? Because otherwise you might end up trying to fit in way too much into the time frame that you actually have with people. So, and as I'm saying that too, like you may reflect on, well, Christine, yours sounds pretty in depth with a lot of stuff. And that's often why people do my mastermind again and again, because the messy middle is often a few years. It's not just 6 months. It's not like you move through and transform everything within just 6 months, because if you're still getting clear on your offer and then you're going taking it to market, that can often just take 6 months just to do that. And then you reiterate it and then you improve it and then you do it again. And then that's where it starts to become much more scalable. That first iteration can take a good year for it to actually come back around to really hit those big results. So I say, like, don't drop all your one-to-one to begin with. Trust that it's going to be a bit of a process. So you want to have a mix of one-to-one and your group offering. And you may want to continue to do that. Like, I've continued to do that. I love having one-to-one. And so I have the one-to-one and the 2 programs that I run. So, well, actually 3 at the moment, because with her expansion is a short one. But it's once I've built out those systems and processes, it doesn't feel like a huge undertaking to add one more program for such a short period of time. So that's why I did it, because I actually really wanted to create something super, super short. And so, because I had a lot of people that were like, I just need this reset. And that's what her expansion really is about, is that really deep reset. And so I think one of the things, or the lessons that I've learned with over the years of different programs that I've iterated, is that please don't start too early on in your business to think you're going to create something, a scalable offer right out the bat, if you haven't perfected or mastered what it is that you do with one-to-one. Because I feel like you learn so much with the clients that you serve and so much through your iteration of that offering in your one-to-one experiences, that you learn so much through that you can absolutely bring to your group components, especially if you're doing it live. Like, you need to anticipate the problems that your customer is going to experience before they bring it to the table. So you need to know what's going to happen when, in order for it to be really impactful. And I think that one of the things that sometimes people do is that they start right out the gate and they bring out a group offering and find it really bloody hard to, 1, sell, and 2, to actually deliver, because they're so stuck in the delivery piece, because they're still trying to figure it all out themselves and they're navigating so many different personalities in a group dynamic. So a lot of things that happen throughout that journey that I feel like sometimes your experience, if you've been doing it with one-to-one for a couple of years, that level of experience really shows when you then translate it to group. So just wanting you to consider that too, of like what stage of business it's worthwhile building in that scalable offer of one-to-many. The next thing I think is really key to build in here to make it a real scalable empire is how you build in feedback and how you create opportunities where you're going to learn from the people that you're taking through the program so you can perfect it and make it even better. And so the more that you do that, the more likely it is that you'll create something really unique and really impactful that then becomes your scalable offer that you can then just tweak and optimize, and really optimize that funnel for it to be something that will take it to the next level. So really thinking about, like, rather than adding more and more and more to your plate, more and more offers, really think about like what you want to be known for and what's this one offering that you could scale and have more and more people go through without it feels like you're burning yourself out. And then be willing to put in the reps, because every single time you take a group program or a mastermind or you run a course and you get the feedback, you learn so freaking much. Like, honestly, every single time I take a group through, I learn something new, and I get to choose what I want to take and implement, and what I feel like is not the right fit for me to implement. And I feel like it makes it better and better again and again and again. So I think that willingness to be open to that feedback is really key, and doing your best to try to implement that when it's the right fit. And the other thing as well is like really making sure that you're building in data opportunities, because one of the things that I've found has been really beneficial for my optimization is making sure that I'm going back and looking at the data of where people have found me, what have they downloaded or accessed for free first before then coming into a container. What type of connection, what type of relationship, what type of impact have I had on them already before they've invested is really key to know, because that can actually speed up the process of scaling your offer. And you can build it in much more strategically when you know exactly what touch points you need to have with the customer in order for them to get ready to buy. So we're making sure and being really strategic with your offers and where they fit within your offer suite. So that way you're not, 1, bastardizing your main offering, and secondly, you're actually nurturing your customer to buy the bigger offer, right? So it's not something that's just like thrown in there of like, oh, this is so random, I'm just going to do this because it kind of sounds interesting to me. It's being really much more strategic. And when you look at people across the board, successful people who have got really great scalable offers, they've stuck with the one thing for a longer period of time and they've just perfected it, optimized it again and again and again, and they've become known for it. That's what you really want to do, right? Become known for it. Otherwise, you're just creating something that's really truly of random, and people don't know how to recommend to be like, hey, you have that problem? Great, you need to go see Christine. You have this, you need to go see Jasmine. Like, allow yourself to make it so easy for your customer to know, one, that who you are and who you work with and how you can help them. And then you want to build in your ascension model, so you're actually guiding people to the next step. One of the other mistakes that I see people do is they create offerings and then they don't actually connect to their other offerings. And it's like, but what's the purpose? Like, where do you want people to go? And you've got to be conscious of, like, you have to be the one to tell them where to go next. Otherwise, they just don't know. And you cannot expect them to just make that decision on their own, because you're the expert. You're the one that understands your offerings inside and out. So you want to make sure that you're guiding people through that journey along the way. And so we want to build that into your long-term strategy so it serves the growth of your business. Otherwise, and I see this happen so much when I have women come into the next level mastermind, is that they either are just starting out with that new group offering and there's so many hesitations and fears and imposter syndrome and all the stuff showing up mindset wise. And then there's the sales strategy piece that they've missed out a few foundational pieces, which has then made the launch of the thing really hard, or they actually need to go back to the drawing board and create something much more specific. So we need to look at what they've created and be like, hang on a minute, like that's actually not going to feed the rest of your business. And so, yeah, there's either that or they've just been having one offering for a long period of time and haven't thought about scaling it. And so I actually had one client of mine come through the next level mastermind where she had an incredibly, very successful membership, and it was at a low price point. And a lot of her members were asking for more, but she had nothing else for them to evolve and graduate to. And so we ended up looking at, okay, where do we want customers to go next? What are you passionate about? What do you really want to work with them on? And so we actually ended up developing 2 different group offerings, and she launched them within the 6 months, which is unheard of. She's just such a go-getter, and she was like, nah, my people are ready for this. And so we built out both programs, and they were different levels of what the clients were in the membership. She offered them not at the same time, separate times. So we did the first one pretty much straight up into the mastermind once she developed it. I think it was like a month or 2 in, and she went and took it to the group. And she had, the thing is too, like everyone was so warm because she added so much value to this community for such a long period of time and had nothing else to sell them for so long, that when she dropped that in the group, everyone was like, oh my God, yes, this is exactly what I need. Yes, can I please have this? And that had actually come from us having a really great session around what her customers are asking her for. And she had a bunch of people asking her for one-to-one for a specific area of their business. And she was like, yeah, okay, I can do more one-to-one. And she was getting to the point where she was spending so many hours on Zoom that I was like, why? Why are you not bringing them all into a group? And she's like, oh, I just hadn't thought I could do that. And I'm like, 100%, they all had the same problem. They all want the same outcome. Let's bring them all together into a group. And so that's the first thing we did. And then we looked at, okay, then where do you want to take them? And so we looked at the ascension model and actually supported her to be able to create the next level of offering. And then again, 2-3 months later, towards the end of the mastermind, she then launched that and sold it out. And I was like, hell yeah, girl. Like, she had such an incredible level of trust with her community that they knew that if they signed on, they were going to get value from it. And so it was perfect. So we built out that ascension model, and she was like, I've literally tripled my income in that 6 months period of time. And because I couldn't see the wood for the trees, right? So she was like, I just could not see that. I was just like, well, I've just got to scale the membership. And I was like, no, man, you need a higher ticket offer. You need something where you actually are delivering something of value, but you can charge really well for it. Otherwise, you're just literally burning yourself into the ground trying to serve widely instead of going up. And so that was awesome. It was so awesome for her to see that. And then she ended up actually selling the business. Like, she was able to sell the business. It was so awesome. But yeah, so that's just one client. I have so many other stories, but I won't keep chewing your ear. Is there anything else that I feel like I need to cover here? So one, when you're creating a group offering, think about a specific outcome or result that you can create for people. Think about the delivery and what is the best way to create that transformation for your customer. Make sure it's specific to what it is that you're delivering, and ensure that you give it the attention that it needs in order to scale. Like, don't give up on it just with one launch or just with one iteration. It's the reiteration, the re-optimization again and again and again that makes it fucking great, and that's what makes it scalable. So I hope that you've benefited from this episode. If you have any questions at all, feel free to send me a DM. If you'd love to become part of the Next Level Mastermind, we kickstart in June, so you don't have long. Make sure you jump in and check it out today so you can find out all the information. And if you have any questions, send me a DM. You're also more than welcome to book a discovery call with me too if you want to chat it out, and we can determine where you're at in business and what you need to see if it is the right fit. More than happy to do that. Again, feel free to send me a DM or jump onto the website and book a discovery call. All right, lovely. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you really soon. Thank you for listening, and if you found any value out of this episode, make sure you hit the follow button so you get access to the episodes as soon as they are live, and make sure you come hang out with me on Instagram. You can find me at ChristineCorcoran_coach. Have an incredible week.